We're continuing. We're continuing this series as dangerous prayers. It's like, oh, these are tough ones. But these are ones that we as Christians have been called to pray to our God. And we said prayer is just a conversation with our God. We're just having a conversation. And sometimes we are just really, really safe with our prayers. 2 weeks ago we talked about, Lord, lead me. All right, remember that I am a follower of Jesus. A follower. That Jesus, would you lead my life wherever we go, that you're leading, that I will follow. Oh, we don't do that one. That's a dangerous one. And then last week we talked about search me. And when we're quiet before our God, you know that He knows everything about us. And it was David that said, search me, O God, and know my heart. Know my heart. Test me. Test me and know my anxious thoughts, the things that go through my mind, and point out any offensive thing in me, and lead me in the path of everlasting life. God, just search me. Let's take care of all those things. So today we have another dangerous prayer. One, I think that if you're struggling with the other ones, you might even struggle with this one. This one is, break me. Just break me. Let me read a little bit, a story out of Mark chapter 14 about someone that God just broke. Let me read a little bit. Starting at verse 1 of chapter 14 of Mark. It was now 2 days before the Passover and the Festival of Unleavened Bread. The leading priests and teachers of religious law were still looking for an opportunity to capture Jesus secretly and to kill Him. But not during the Passover celebration, they agreed, or the people may riot. Meanwhile, Jesus was in Bethany at the home of Simon, the man who had previously had leprosy. And while he was eating, a woman came in with a beautiful alabaster jar of expensive perfume made from essence of nard. She broke open the jar and poured the perfume over his head. Some of those at the table were indignant. Why waste such expensive perfume, they asked. It could have been sold for a year's wages and the money given to the poor. So they scolded her harshly. But Jesus replied, leave her alone. Why criticize her for doing such a good thing to me? You will always have the poor among you, and you can help them whenever you want. But you will not always have me. She has done what she could and has anointed my body for burial ahead of time. I tell you the truth, wherever the good news is preached throughout the world, this woman's deed will be remembered and discussed. Oh, that's a story. Jesus is reclining while they eat. Back then we have a big table that we sit and eat at. We have chairs around it. They laid down. They had short tables that they put the food on. So Jesus is like resting on an elbow, and some lady comes up. Other writers of the story say that she was an immoral woman. But she takes perfume and pours it on Jesus. See, this woman had met Jesus, and the day that she met Jesus, everything changed. Everything just changed in her life. She's living in sin. She's not living for God. She's not following Jesus. And Jesus showed her, this is not the way God has called you to live. Go and sin no more. And that was the day that she goes, I have been given grace. I deserve death, but God totally broke her and transformed her heart. And so she heard Jesus was going to be in town, and she goes and she brings the most expensive, the most valuable thing in her life. And she pours out this bottle of perfume on Jesus. Perfume was her calling card earlier. You know, the idea that she was available, and we'll just leave it there. The smell, it was just all about the aura of what she could do for them. But now, the day that she met Jesus, things changed, and that perfume had a different use now. You know, her perfume was like, her life was like this perfume. That it used to be for this purpose, and now, because of Jesus, it had a different purpose. It was now going to anoint Jesus for his burial. In a couple days, he was going to die. And in the act of breaking this jar and pouring it over Jesus' head, it was leaving her past behind. And now it's a different purpose. Her life had been repurposed. See, when a person is broken, this is what brokenness. Brokenness is surrendering my life ownership and my purpose to Jesus. It's surrendering it. It's saying, all right, it's no longer, my life and my purpose is no longer mine. I give that to you, Jesus. My purpose, it's broken. My life is now yours. You know, other people at this meal, they had no idea what was going on. They don't know this lady. You know, some of them thought, wow, she's a big waste of time and money going on here. But she had totally surrendered her life and all of her purpose to Jesus. See, maybe you didn't know this. You know, many people here, they know that Celebration used to be a car dealership. Not the church, but this building. Here, this is a picture of it. Eric and I were just talking before the service that these glass windows. That was the showroom. People could see all the cars, and there were a lot of people at church that said, "Give me a sledgehammer. We're going to knock those windows out." They had so much fun doing that. They were inefficient. They were not safe. They were just plate glass. So they took them out. And we have Celebration. It has now been repurposed. You know, the AV people have control over this lift. It's about in here, and if I start going down during the service, that's because they said, "Hey, it's a little bit long here, Matt. Just keep watching. Just make sure." All right. But this is what it used to be. The purpose of this building used to be for selling cars, servicing cars. There was a body shop in this other room. You know, that was the purpose. And all of a sudden, God said, "I got a different purpose for this building." Now the purpose for this building is to talk about Jesus and change lives. God changes lives here and makes people transformed in Him. It's kind of like a symbolic thing of our lives. Whenever somebody comes in, I get to do I greet people. I hope it's in here, because then I'll talk about this door. You can't see this if you're online, but there's a big door here. There used to be a door over there. This is the door that would lead out of the service bay into the body shop. And this door is here. I'm so glad the design people didn't take my fashion tips. I was saying, why do we need a door here? That doesn't fit. And it was such a great thing. And it says, this door is here, and it reminds us every time we sit in here that we've been repurposed. That our lives have been repurposed like this building. That we have all been repurposed. Jesus has transformed our hearts and our minds, and He's showed us the emptiness without Him. He says, "I got a purpose for your life. Will you follow me?" You know, not all these other distractions in your life. Follow me. Let me break you of everything else. I want you to follow me because I've got great plans. You know, this is where real life begins. You know, I don't know if we do that. Do we walk through life thinking, "Oh man, God, just break me because I want to follow your plans"? Do we think that way? I got this thought that this is where the battle begins in each of our lives. This is the battle inside of us. All right, God, I know you, Jesus, awesome. I'm just going to go do my own thing, though. And we don't talk about, God, just break me. Yeah, even the big things in my life, even the small little things. God, would you break me of that? I got to tell you this. There's some days that I don't even think of that until noon. I don't think that, hey, God has transformed my life. I'm so busy about doing all the other things in my life that I forget that God's got a purpose for my day. He's got a purpose for my life. And I don't say, okay, whatever you want to do in my day, God, I'm on board. If it's whoever I'm going to talk with, or even the things I do, sometimes I just forget. You know, I'm sure I'm the only one who thinks that way, that I don't say, God, whatever you want to do with my day. And it's tough, because surrender has to happen every day. Do we get that? Surrendering, saying, all right, God, break me of everything that keeps me from surrendering my day to you. My purpose in life, my purpose for just this hour, whatever you want to do. You know, the Bible speaks kind of like of our lives like a computer operating system. You know, and that's more than just IT guys thinking. If our lives were computers, they're made with an operating system that makes it all work together beautifully. And that's the way we were made. We were made to work beautifully. And all of a sudden, we got this virus that just messed everything up, corrupted us. It kind of works. It just works slower. It's really inefficient. It makes us get on IT customer service hotline all the time and say, how does this go? It's just not working as it's supposed to. But God said, all right, we're going to make this work. I'm going to change your life. I'm going to transform you inside and out. That's what he does. But there's this little bit of that virus in our system still. It's still there, and it's not totally gone, and it messes up things still. And every day, we battle against it. You know, if it's called our sin nature. It's like deep down, it's messed us up. And someday it's all going to be cleaned out. But there's still little bits there. You know, and this is where it gets personal for us. Then we need to clean that out, to surrender and say, God, I need you to clean me up. I battle against this virus in my life, this sin that tears me down. It trips me up when I want to follow after Jesus. And we see it so closely in you know, if you go to a prison or a detox center, oh yeah, they're messed up. Those people, oh, they've got bad problems. They need Jesus. They need to surrender every day. But we are just the same. We are just the same. You know, there's families. You know the families that they haven't given over ownership and purpose for the family over to Jesus. No, they don't talk about Jesus. They just say, you know, he's off to the side. We've got our own purpose for our family. You know, surrendering the purpose of your family over to Jesus. You know, how many of us need to surrender the purpose of our bank account? How we spend our money? Where we spend our money? It's like, all right, is the $300 every month for my cable and TV and phone bill, is that great use of my money for Jesus? You know, these are questions that we need to ask. Is that my purpose here? Is that what Jesus has called me to? You know, and we could go on and on. We could talk about the words we use, the little things we do, and every step and every day we have to say, God, what's my purpose here? Well, how can I live closer to you? Break me of anything that keeps me from surrendering ownership of my life and my purpose. Just break that. Just break it. I want to follow you after you. Because brokenness is surrendering my life ownership and my purpose to Jesus in every way. See, God does great things. He does great things through our brokenness. Here's the thing. I needed a ladder the other day, and I just said, well, I should not get up on a rickety wooden ladder that is older than, well, probably about as old as everybody in this room. You know, it's an old ladder, and I should not be getting up on that, because I got up on the other day and it was just swaying a little bit. That's not right, so I needed to get a different one, so I'm looking online for like a fiberglass 6-foot ladder. And nobody wants to get rid of those anymore. Until I found this one. This guy says, all right, you can have this. 6-foot ladder, $30. Thinking, wow, that's great. And my first question back to him was, is it broken? Is it twisted of some sort? What's wrong with it? Because nobody wants to buy broken things. Nobody wants anything that's broken. We say, oh, that goes in the scrap pile. Yet Jesus looks to us and says, are you broken? Because I can't do great things in your life until you are broken. That your way of doing things, your purpose is put to the side. I can only do things in broken lives. You know, broken things are precious to our God. They're priceless. Let me read a little bit. Psalm 34 says this, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He's close to them. It's like right here. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. Oh, He does great things through us. Let me give you one more. Psalm 51. The sacrifice you desire is a broken spirit. One that says, no, it's not my way anymore. It's your way, Jesus. He will not reject a broken and a repentant heart. See, this is, our God works through broken people. And anybody who has come to Jesus knows how broken their lives get. And even now, when we still have this corrupted part of our lives, it still needs to be broken. So that we can say, I follow you, Jesus. I bring all of who I am to you. Here's one part that I'm not sure that we grab a hold of. God blesses His people when He breaks them. Was that just like, all right, Matt's really gone off the rockers there, right? He blesses those that He breaks. And He's just waiting for you to say, all right, I need to be broken of all these ways of trying to do it my own way. My purpose, my feelings, my intellectualness. All right, Jesus, whatever you want to do in my life, that's what we'll do. You know, we get this idea that we don't need to surrender. We don't need to do things God's way. We don't need to follow after Jesus. We can go on our own little ways. And Jesus says, I need you to follow me. In all these other ways, I have a better purpose than these. I've repurposed your life for a reason. Because brokenness is surrendering our life ownership and our purpose to Jesus. And that's where our God blesses us. I got one little idea here. The dangerous part for this morning is that if you pray this, Jesus, just break me, He's going to answer it. You know that He's going to answer it. And He's going to say, okay, all right, you want to follow me, you want to trust in my purpose, okay, let's get on board. And that's what makes it dangerous. Because you have no idea some days where He's going to place you. It's a dangerous prayer. There's the musician, her name is Julie Miller. I enjoy her music. Even though it's kind of like a country thing, which like twists my brain a little bit. I like the way she sings, but she was a teenager. Grew up in the church, doing great, and she's a victim of a sexual attack. And it just spiraled her into a depression. And then when she turned about 16 or 17, this is what she said. She wrote this down in her journal. I had this longing, but nothing I did would make it go away. I tried to be a good Christian. I prayed. I read my Bible. I went to church, but I only got more depressed. And finally, when I was 16 or 17, I said to God, you know I believe in you, but I don't know how to do this. So goodbye. Whatever it takes to bring me back to you, do it. Oh, how many of us would pray that one? Hey, God, whatever you need to do, bring me back to you. You know, I'm going this way. I'm going to go my own purpose, my own route. Whatever you need to do, break me of that. When she was in her mid-20s, Jesus just said, okay, I'm going to break you of this. And He brought her back. He brought her back to God's purpose for her life. And she wrote this song. It's called Broken Things. It talks about her life. Let me read a little bit. It says, you can have my heart, though it isn't new. It's been used and broken and only comes in blue. It's been down a long road and it's gotten dirty on the way. If I give it to you, will you make it clean and wash the shame away? You can have my heart if you don't mind broken things. You can have my life. You don't mind these tears. Well, I heard that you make old things new. So I give these pieces all to you. If you want it, you can have my heart. Is that us? Can you pray that and say, God, I want you to break me and I give you all of who I am, broken as I am, because I wish to follow you and your purpose for my life and your plan. I don't know where you're going to lead me. I don't know the brokenness that you're going to give me. But I give you my heart if you don't mind it being broken. It's a dangerous prayer to ask. God, break me. But I hope to lead you in this prayer. Not just to say, oh, I'm going to pray this for you, but that we pray this prayer this morning. Pray with me. God, I ask you to break us so completely, so totally, so that we may know you so deeply. Break every part of our will so that we realize your purpose for our lives. Break our pride, our self-righteousness, whatever sin there is in our lives. Break it so we can completely serve you with all of our heart. God, we try to do it our own way, and each time we mess it up, God, would you repurpose us? Give us a new mission in our lives. Show us the amazing plans you have for our repurposed lives. And in all these things, God, we praise your name. Amen.